yeah, just here to do a quick contest entry for UndeadNightmare24. I think he must have reached a milestone or something like that. Yeah, I don't follow the horror challenge as much as I could do because I'm mainly concentrating on comic books. But every now and again, I try and watch, and support the some people in the horror community. And if there's a contest that I could do an entry for, I will try my best to do that. So UndeadNightmare24. I'll put his link at the end so you can go and sub him up. And yeah, if you like horror related stuff, then go follow him, go sub him. Right now, you've got two questions. First one, he wants you to name 3 of the top 90s horrors. So you have your 3 favourite horrors from the 90s. Now, I'm terrible at coming up with favourites, so I just looked up like horror movies of the 90s and picked 3 out. And there happen to be 3 that I actually own. So I thought, if I own them, they must be amongst my favourites, mustn't they? Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered buying them. So I just went in 1990. I found 2 in 1990. Hardware, bit of an obscure one as well, but I own this one. I remember when I first read it, I was like, this is just like a story out of 2000 AD. It seems so like it's like a dead spit of this. I think it was a Farg's Future Shocks or something like that. And there's like a woman who gets a robot that she's going to use for like an old broken down robot. She's going to use it for sculpture. And it turns out that it's still got some power in it. It comes back to life and it's like a war robot, and it's like, tries to kill her kind of thing. Which is exactly what happens in this movie. And it ended up, I don't think it was said at the time, but the person who wrote it for 2000 ended up suing the writers of the story, I think, or the director of the story, and got them to admit that it was based on his 2000 AD story. So but I recognise it as well. I mean, it was so obvious that it was exactly the same story. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's hardware. It activates, it exhilarates, it exterminates. The best sci-fi horror film of the year, Terminator for the 90s. Yeah, it was a pretty decent movie as well. I'm not sure who directed it. What he went on to do. He must have gone on to do other stuff. Let's have a look. The most original brain-blasting film for 2 decades, said the NME. I was glued to this gripping and violent thriller, says Daily Mirror. A sexy, scary, killer cult movie, said Elle. A robot who gouges out eyes and cuts up his victims with chainsaws is set to become Britain's king of horror, said the Daily Star. Okay, well, he was only in one movie, but for that year, I suppose it was a good movie. Hailed as the Terminator for the 90s, and in the tradition of such nail-biting sci-fi chiller thrillers as Blade Runner and Alien, Hardware is the ultimate post-nuclear nightmare ever. Director Richard Stanley follows in the footsteps of David Cronenberg and Clive Barker, creating a truly horrifying vision of the future. Tailor-made with incredible special effects from Image Animation, Hellraiser from Highlander and Nightbreed, Hardware also features an explosive soundtrack from Iggy Pop, Motorhead and Public Image Limited. Yeah, bit of Motorhead never goes amiss. I remember there's actually one bit where there's actually some live footage of Gwar, the band Gwar, but I'm not sure if their song was playing as well, whether there was somebody else's song was playing, but it was like video imagery of Gwar. In a radioactive wasteland, a mysterious zone tripper discovers the remains of Cyborg Mark 13, a highly advanced killing machine. He sells it to Mo, Dylan McDermott, a scrap merchant, who in turn presents the find to his seductive girlfriend Jill, Stacey Travis. Trapped in her apartment, Jill becomes terrified when Mark 13 suddenly reconstructs itself, utilising household appliances, and goes on a bloody rampage. I can't remember how many people it kills, but it's kind of like spending most of the movie just chasing her. She eventually survives, I believe. I can't remember now. Right, yeah. And the second movie from 1990 that I was like, oh, I've got that one. Yeah, that's a film I like. It's Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And this has got a good soundtrack, a good heavy metal soundtrack. It's got Lars Rocket, the track Leatherface. And I think it's got the track I'm Bored by, by Death Angel, the t-shirt I'm wearing today, I just realised. Leatherface 3, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So not Leatherface 3, it's just Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The legend that became a relentless nightmare continues. From the producer of The Mask and the director of Pumpkinhead 2 and Night of the Scarecrow, Jeff Burr, the infamous Leatherface is back in the most controversial horror movie of all time. A pair of college students driving coast to coast are lured off the main highway onto a deserted Texas road. Here they are stalked by the menacing Leatherface and his demented family, a bizarre cannibalistic clan with blood on their hands and a feast on their minds. The terror begins the second it starts. New Line Cinema. He puts the teeth in terror. Yeah, I don't know. I said terror. What's it sound aside? The Saurus family. The Saurus family. I think that's the line from the Leatherface track. The Saurus family. I can't remember now. Pretty sure it is. It actually sounds a bit like a Sodom song, actually. The Saw is the Law. Right. I wonder if The Saw is the Law is by Sodom is based on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I'm not too sure. Oh, it's got a little booklet inside as well. You don't see them so often, do you, anymore? Well, this is only... I didn't think this was... Maybe this is a reprint. It's got Lord of the Rings, The Return... That's not 1990, is it? No, I think it must be in there because I think Viggo Mortensen is actually in this film, so they put an advert. But this is obviously a later reprint then. This is not like from when it... Yeah, it must be, because when it first came out in 1990, it probably would have been video, I think, still. I think it was still video at that time. Then you got like adverts inside of all the different other movies that were available. That Willard, I think I've got that Willard. I've got one about a rat. I can't believe there's two songs about rats, but anyway. Okay. Yeah, so that's Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. That's my second choice of a 90s horror movie. And I happen to own it. And then I think it's from 92, I believe. This one I've shown plenty of times. Oh, it says 93 on the back. No, copyright 92, so I think it was 92 originally. It's Brain Dead. Referred to as Dead Alive in America, I believe. It makes the evil dead look like a Sunday picnic. Horrendously funny, said the Financial Times. Mum suffers from upper-class pretensions and a craving for human flesh. Lionel and Paquita are falling in love, but family and friends keep getting in the way. Selwyn, an infant from hell whose murderous temperament no earthly mother could ever conceive. Brain dead. There's something nasty in Lionel's cellar. His family. There you go. Father Magruder, a no-nonsense priest whose search for everlasting life ends in Lionel's cellar. And Void, a small-time hoodlum whose big-time plans go fiendishly wrong when he tries to part Lionel from his wallet. Yeah, there's just a few of the characters that are in there. Basically all zombie people. There will never ever be a bloodier, sicker, more outrageously grossed out zombie shocker. Absolutely hilarious, said Starburst. And the most grossly hilarious horror spoof of all time, said What's On in London. And here's the blurb. If you think Lionel seems okay, then you haven't met his family. Mother's boy Lionel Cosgrove is 25 and has never been kissed. Then one fateful day in 1957, Lionel's uneventful existence changes forever. Drawn to the lovely Paquita, a young Spanish girl from the local corner shop, the couple plan a tryst at the nearby zoo. Thinking themselves alone at last, the young lovers are unaware that their every move has been observed from the bushes by Lionel's possessive mum. Sneaking close, Mum stumbles against a cage which contains a vicious Sumatran rat monkey which duly sinks its toxic fangs deep into her flesh. When a strange wound transforms into a putrefying virus, Lionel and the unwitting Paquita are sent spiralling into an endless nightmare. There you go, that's the story. It bites her, gives her the bite. Zingaya! Zingaya, she has the bite! Yeah, it's a good film. Anyway, and also the second question, I dragged them out quite long, didn't I, really? But, you know, watch time. If people watch it, I'll have more watch time hours on my channel. Right, favourite horror genre. I'm a zombie film fan. I remember back in, you know, the 90s or possibly the late 80s, I just dug zombie movies. I thought zombie movies were cool. I prefer slow zombies, to be honest, as well. The inexorable nature of a slow zombie, when there's just so many of them that you can't get away. It's like when the fast ones, it's just like, oh, game over. If there was ever a zombie apocalypse and it was fast zombies, I'd just jump off a really tall building, I think, because it's like, there's no way you're going to survive. But the slow ones, oh, you feel you have a chance. But it's like the fact that there's so many of them. And the thing about zombie movies as well, it's more about the human nature of the survivors than it is about the zombies themselves. Because the zombies aren't necessarily, you know, put down to just the zombies versus humans. If humans think carefully and take precautions, they should be safe. They should be able to survive to a certain extent. But there's so much politics and so much evil in the human race, the ones that are survivors that are left, that they're a bigger problem. There's always someone does something wrong and they let the zombies in. Or, that's always seems to be the way. There's always some conflict between the humans that means it's quite often a domino effect of actions, where someone will do something, someone else will misconstrue that action or whatever. They'll do something bad, and then or quite often it's plain stupidity as well. The amount of times you see people getting bitten because there's a group of humans, and they so you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Look out for each other. Have blinking proper procedures where you whilst you're doing this action. Right, you're distracted, whatever, starting up a car or whatever, we'll look out and see if there's any zombies coming. But no, they all just fucking turn their heads off, like they're fucking strolling, having a picnic in the park or something, and suddenly a zombie comes out and bites somebody and they're fucking infected. And it's like, well, if you're fucking watching each other's backs, you stupid twats. Watched the film yesterday when that happened. It annoyed me no end. I'm like, why aren't you fucking watching her back, you fucking moron? Anyway, don't get bitten by zombies. That's my advice for everyone out there. I'm off then. So make sure you sub up to UndeadNightmare24, or I'll give you undead nightmares if you don't sub him up. Okay. Right, I'm out of here. Until next time. Boo!
Some Undead Nightmares 24.